Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a very early 2026 NBA mock draft for this upcoming year. These guys haven't even started their college seasons yet and we're already mock drafting them. I'm going to make you guys familiar with the top sort of 10-ish prospects that we have on the board coming up this year and who to watch out for and what they're pretty much good at. So let's jump right into it with number one. The number one clear-cut pick at the moment for the 2026 draft is AJ Dibanster. He's going to BYU next season. He's a small forward. I mean, at this point, who doesn't know him? 6'9", two-way wing. I mean, he's got a 6'11" wingspan. He can do it on both sides of the ball. Great natural IQ. Great with the ball in his hand. A little bit shaky from behind the arc. I'd like to see a little bit more efficiency with him going into BYU from behind the arc. And a little bit more stronger finishing at the rim. He tends to flop a little bit and tends to go for more the draw than he does for the complete finish, when with his strength and his body size he can easily get those complete finishes. But he's a guy who's, whoever ends up getting him next season is going to be happy with him. I mean, he's one of those guys who's very alpha, very leadership. He can go in there and he can sort of change a team. He'll be a cornerstone for whoever takes him as long as he pans out to his potential. But right now he's the very clear-cut number one in this draft. I mean, athletic, can shoot the ball, can defend. He can do it all. Two-way wing, literally to the T. He's probably at the top of potentials for two-way wings in the next couple of drafts. So yeah, whoever ends up getting him next season is going to be great for them because they'll have a perfect cornerstone for their team. Alright guys, so at number two we have Darren Peterson going to Kansas next season, a 6'5" guard with a 6'10" wingspan. This is one of the guards that we're seeing coming into the draft who's actually pretty strong for a small guard. I mean, he's 6'5", so he's not exactly small, but not exactly on the bigger end of guards within the league at the moment. But he's strong, so he can bully off other defenders, and he's got that power to also be able to move in and out of the lanes and get things done using his strength. He's got a very high level scoring ability. I feel like he can have a Trae Young-esque season if it translates properly into the NCAA. I mean, he's a scoring machine. He's got that 3-level scoring from the rim, from the post, from the three, from the mid. He can get it anywhere. The only thing I would say in terms of his scoring ability is his shot selection is very shaky. Sometimes you see him settle for a little bit more than he should, whereas he can maybe throw the rock, pass the ball, make another play. But in terms of moving on into his playmaking and stuff as well, great. He's low on his turnovers, he can read the defense well, and he can get things done. I would say he needs to swipe up a bit on his defense. He can be prone to fouling and have a lot of rim pressure, especially playing with bigger players. He might be a little bit stronger, but when he's got these bigs on him and he can't draw the foul, there's a lot of pressure for him there. And of course, he's not the most athletic either, but honestly, as long as his game translates well, I think he'll be a very high, very volume scorer going into this NCAA season at Kansas. At number three, I do have Elijah Arenas. I know he suffered a car accident recently, so I'm hoping, prayers out to him and his family, that he recovers properly and he comes into the NCAA very healthy and still the same, and he still have his future ahead of him, because he is a great player. I mean, I don't really have much bad to say about him. He's excellent size, he's long, he's physical, he's athletic, he's got that NBA frame. He can score from all three levels. His jumper's nice. He can play above the rim. He can play the secondary guard position as well as playmaking the primary position. He really is the perfect guard coming in out of this class. I'd say he can brush up on his defense a little bit, but most of these guys are more perfected offensive players, and then they come into the NCAA and they learn their defense there, and they sort of learn how they fit there when it comes to that level. But yeah, I've got Elijah Arenas at 3 again. Hopefully he recovers well and we'll see him back on the court like nothing changed. Now at 4, I have another son of an NBA player. I have Cameron Boozer going number 4 in this draft. He's going to be playing at Duke next season, so it's going to be really interesting to see Duke's lineup, especially with the sort of disappointment they had this season with Cooper Flag. But it's going to be great to see him. He's a great physical 6'9", 4". He can score in the post. He can get the little mid ranges. He can finish around the rim with the touches. He's efficient as well, which is something you don't really see from shooting fours. He's pretty efficient. He's also good at the line as well with the free throw shooting. He can rebound on both ends. He's a strong positioning defensively. So I think as long as I think he's one of these guys whose his floor is just to be a role player. Like, I don't think he's one of these guys who's going to come into the league and potentially not be here in a few seasons. I think he will always, if at his worst, he will always be a role player in this league. At his best, he'll be a superstar. I mean, you know, he's got that defense, he's got the winning pedigree, he's got the IQ and the maturity that you can see it in his game. And you can also see the passing and the visions coming along. It's not quite there yet. He does sometimes overthrow or underthrow passes, but I think going through the NCAA, coming into the league, his passing and vision will definitely get better. I do think he is, next to AJ, one of the highest potential players in this draft. So it's going to be interesting to see where Cameron Boozer ends up, both in the draft and where he ends up sort of in the league in the next 3 or 4 years. Over here at number 5, we have Ament going to Tennessee next season. The small forward / power forward at 6'9". The only thing I'm a little bit worried about him even going into colleges is how his frame translates. He needs to put a little bit more muscle on. He's got a frame he can fill out, and we do usually see these guys who come in really thin sort of put their weight on as they go through the NCAA, through the league. They'll put their weight on, so I'm not too worried about that. He's very talented with the ball in his hands. He can handle the open court. He can handle playmaking a little bit. We're seeing him get a little bit better at it, but I think he needs to be in a more organised, more professional, more sort of systematic team for that to really come out of him. He can play defense to an extent. Obviously, he's not too strong. He does get pushed off the ball quite easily. His defenders do tend to sort of nudge him out of the way, make that little bit extra space. But as long as he can literally fill out his position, sort of add a little bit of weight on, clamp down on those little defensive errors that he's getting knacked at. He's a very big upside player. He has huge potential on the offensive side and also huge potential on the defensive side. I could see him being the number 1 prospect by the time this mock draft rolls around next year. He's very close up there with AJ. I think AJ has already got that extra strength to help on the defensive end and help on sort of getting his way to the rim. I think if Nate can work on that a little bit more, put a little bit more on, boost his athleticism slightly more, I think we're going to have 2 amazing wings coming into our league next year. And that's all I have for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this 2026 mock draft, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if not already. And let me know on any video ideas that you guys have for me to do next. Obviously, the playoffs are still going on. If you guys want me to do an off-season deep dive with the teams that have been already eliminated or something along that line, leave a comment below. Also going to be putting a rebuild out in the next week as well. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to see how these rebuilds go. If they're strong quality videos and they're doing well, then I'll keep doing more of them. If not, we're going to stay to these cut comms. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Leave a like, subscribe if not already. All my links are in the description down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.